Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hemangi Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28, verse 23 to 33. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadire Nashtaprayesu Apatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Text 23. When the Yavanas were taking King Puranjana away to their place, binding him like an animal, the king's followers became greatly aggravated. While they lamented, they were forced to go along with him. The serpent, who had already been arrested by the soldier of Yavana Raja and was out of the city, began to follow his master along with the others. As soon as they all left the city, it was immediately dismantled and smashed to dust. When King Puranjana was being dragged with great force by the powerful Yavana out of his gross ignorance, he still could not remember his friend and well-wisher, the Super Soul. The most unkind King Puranjana has killed many animals in various sacrifices. Now, taking advantage of this opportunity, all these animals began to pierce him with their horns. It was though he were being cut to pieces by axes. Due to his contaminated association with woman, a living entity like King Puranjana eternally suffers all the pangs of material existence and remains in the dark region of material life, bereft of all the remembrance for many, many years. King Puranjana gave up his body while remembering his wife, and consequently, in his next life, he became a very beautiful and well-situated woman. He took his next birth as the daughter of the king Vidarbha in the very house of the king. It was fixed that Vidarbhi, daughter of the king Vidarbha, was to be married to a very powerful man, Maladhwaja, an inhabitant of the Pandu country. After conquering other princes, he married the daughter of the king Vidarbha. King Maladhwaja fathered one daughter who had very black eyes. He also had 7 sons, who later became the rulers of the tract of land known as Dravida. Thus, there were 7 kings in that land. My dear King Prachinavarisa, the son of the Maladhwaja, gave birth to many thousands and thousands of sons, and all of these have been protecting the entire world up to the end of the Manu's lifespan and even afterward. The great sage named Agastya married the firstborn daughter of Maladhwaja, the avowed devotee of Lord Krishna. From her one son was born, whose name was Dhirachita, and from his another son was born, whose name was Itmabaha. After this, the great saintly King Maladhwaja divided his entire kingdom among his sons. Then, in order to worship the Lord Krishna in full attention, he went to a solitary place known as Kulachala. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Rasa, whenever you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to me. This will help me understand Bhagavatam better. We'll start with short prayers. I'll share my screen. ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are reading Canto 4, chapter number 28. We are doing from verse number 22 onwards to 33. So we'll go ahead with the first one. 22. So just to give a very short background, all of us know that we are having a discussion, talk between Prachina Bharisad and Narada Muni, where Narada Muni is explaining the story of King Puranjana. And now he's at a stage where Puranjana is about to leave his life. He's going to leave his body. So here in text number 22, Prabhupada has explained very nicely that every person in this world is responsible for the actions and the reactions. We cannot blame, oh, this happened to me because of so-and-so person. Because everything that is happening to us, good, bad, sour, bitter, is everything our own doings. We have had actions for it, for which we are getting the reactions. In this purport, Prabhupada also explains that a child is always a responsibility of a parent until he or she becomes independent. After the child is independent, there is nothing more a parent should do to maintain the child. So here we see King Puranjana is lamenting. He's very scared. Oh my God, who will take care of my kids and who will take care of my wife after I pass away? How will they maintain things? They don't know to do anything. So this kind of lamentation should not be there in a personality, because he or she has already done what needs to be done, and now the kids are independent and you can let them be. The person is always worrying about all these things, like how things will happen, what things will be done, and meanwhile only the death creeps up on the person. That means that we waste our time in a very menial activity, and we don't even realize when the death day is very close to us. So the whole time that we were doing worrying and all, we completely wasted it. So death over here, we understand, Prabhupada also says death waits for no personality, no man. Here it is said atad haranam. There is this verse used over here, which is a very significant word. Prabhupada says, he says one should not be overly engaged in the welfare activities of the family, country, society. There shouldn't be too much attachment to all these things, because then we will forget where the real attachment should have been. Here in this purport, Prabhupada is also giving the example of shlok, verse number 4.9 from Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Here Prabhupada is saying, if once a person knows that who is Krishna, what is his real constitutional position, then after knowing this truth, there is no way that he is going to come back in this material world. But still, we don't even try to understand a little bit of this. Here in the end of this purport, Prabhupada explains that Harim Vina Nastrim Taranti. One cannot conquer this death without taking the shelter of the Supreme. Unless we surrender this exam called death, we are definitely going to fail. To pass this exam called death, we have to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Moving on to the next verse, verse number 23. Here it says, now the Yavanas were taking King Puranjana away to their place, binding him like animal. So here we understand that the life is being snatched by Yavanas, that is the Yamaraj, and the personality is being bound like an animal, tied up like an animal. It is being done with a lot of force. So here when King Puranjana was being pulled from his place, that means the life was being taken away from the body. That time the life air and the desires also follow. So now what is left behind is the body. The body that is made out of the 5 gross elements like earth, water, air, fire, ether. So only this. So this is a lump of matter. And this lump of matter, nobody really cares for, right? After a person leaves the body is cremated, buried, whatever, but it's disposed. It's not taken care of later. So that body is not very important. The life is already gone. Prabhupada here is explaining that the scientists don't want to study about this because they are very scared that they will learn about a dark future. Hence, they don't even touch this topic. They refuse to believe in next birth. And this is what the scientists are today, and people follow the scientists and they do not have that understanding. There is complete science because of it. So Yamraj is the person who decides what kind of body you will get in the next birth. And this is all decided by taking into consideration all the actions that have been performed by the person. So there is no kind of injustice that will be served to anybody. Everything is taken into account. Then when we move on to the next verse number 24, we see here, we see here that as soon as the life is gone from the body, we dismantle or criminate the body and it is disposed of basically. So Prabhupada is explaining now this body is something that we were taking care of. We were doing massages, putting different kind of oil. When hair is getting white, we are putting dye, color in it to look young. We are trying to fool people that no, we are still young. When somebody compliments us, oh, you don't look your age, we feel very boosted. Oh, we are very young, we are very beautiful. But we are taking care of what? We are taking care of this body. This body is something at the end we are going to dispose of anyway because it's not going to be of any value. So Prabhupada explains here that all those people who are just caring about the body are the most foolish creatures. When I was reading this, I could think of an example about the bird in the cage. We all might have heard it before. So if there is a person who brings a bird in a cage as a pet, and he's so attracted to that cage that he keeps decorating the cage, putting diamonds and jewels and all sorts of glitter on the cage and making it gold and whatnot. But that person forgets to take care of the bird because he was so engrossed in taking care of the cage. And then he realizes that the bird is dead and he did not even know when it was dead. He was still taking care of the cage, right? So similarly, if you are not going to feed the soul equal to bird, but you just keep taking care of the cage equal to body, you're not going to yield much benefit out of it, right? Because there is no use of a cage without a bird. So the most importance that a person should be giving in his life is to the soul. And the soul needs only one thing, that is Harinam. Here, Prabhupada is also saying that person who is advanced in the spiritual knowledge is saved by the transmigration of the body. He does not take Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam again and again because he knows the truth of this life. And then people who are attached to the body or the society or the country, they very much behave like animals. There is no difference between them and animal. Here, Prabhupada is also quoting a verse from Bhagavatam 10th Canto, 84th chapter, where I'll just share the zest, that a person who considers himself as the body, who thinks that the byproduct that has come out of his body are his kingsmen, like, close people, this country is the best place to be in, this is my society, I have to serve them, like showing this kind of attitude. It is said in Bhagavatam 10th Canto that such people are no less than asses or cow, like no less than an animal. The intelligence is equal to an animal. So from here, moving on to the next verse number 25. Here now, King Puranjana was being dragged with force by the powerful Yavana. So here now he is being dragged. The life is being pulled out. And even in such terrible condition, he is not able to think of his friend or well-wisher, the super soul. So here, Prabhupada is explaining, quoting from Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhuktaram Yagya Tapasam, that he's quoting that key to happiness and peacefulness is already given to us. That is in Bhagavad Gita. And there are 3 things that a person should know. First thing is Krishna is the enjoyer of everything. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. And Krishna is the supreme friend and well-wisher of all the living entities. We have studied this in this Bhagavad Gita 5.29. And this, if we understand and accept, a person is always going to be happy and is always going to be peaceful. But why is there misery? Because we forget these key points. So in 18.61 also, Bhagavad Gita, we have heard about the example that Prabhupada states that there are 2 birds sitting on a tree. One bird is the soul and the other bird is the super soul. The soul keeps pecking into different kind of fruits. Sometimes he's getting sweet fruit, sour fruit, bitter food, bland food, but he's not turning back and looking at the super soul, the other bird. And the super soul is constantly looking at the soul and waiting. When will he turn for me? Turn towards me. Turn towards me means surrendering to me. Once we surrender to the super soul, we have ultimate guidance and protection. But we don't do that. Why? Because we like lording it over the nature. We want to be Bhagwan. Why do we need Bhagwan? So we start to enjoy on our own. We think I can enjoy better. I can protect myself better. I can do everything better. I don't need anybody. So with this kind of attitude, we always forget about the super soul. So even at such a crucial time where the life is being snatched out of the body by the Yavanas, the person is not able to think about super soul Krishna even for once. In this purport, Prabhupada explains there are 2 very prime words, that is Sakhyam and Suhridam. Sakhyam is significant because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is our real friend. And he is a Suhridam, means he is almost every time he is the well-wisher. Nobody else can be as well-wishing for us as Krishna. So we think of this like I am born to this family. My friends are like this set of friends are the best friends I've had. They think the best for me. My parents are the best for me. They always stand up for me. But for how long? We never ask this question because we are scared of talking about death. But for how long? The moment we die, we will get and we take a new birth, we will get new set of parents, new set of friends, new set of kingsmen and people around us in society. Everything will keep changing again and again after every single birth. But Krishna, the super soul, is the only one that has been going along with the soul forever and ever, for all the janams, for all the births. Super soul is there with the soul. So who is our actual best friend? Who is actual Suhridam? Who's our actual well-wisher? That is super soul Paramatma Krishna, whom we do not give that much importance as much as we give to materialistic people around us. So from here, moving on to the next verse, verse number 26. Now here it is stated, the most unkind king, Puranjana, he had killed many animals for various sacrifices. Now when the soul is being dragged out by the Yavanas, this is a good opportunity for all the animals that he had killed. Now they are poking their horns and, biting him, and he's feeling the pain very much. So here Prabhupada explains that there are some people, 2 kind of people, very enthusiastically they kill animals. Some people do it, they call it for religious purpose. Oh, we are going to put it in a yagya or so-called sacrifices. And some people open slaughterhouses. They want to do sense gratification. They want to eat that meat because they think that I'm eating this meat, I'm enjoying myself so much. This is so much fun. But after they die, this same reciprocation is given to them. So here Prabhupada is explaining this is true that Jivatma never dies, but that Jivatma will still feel the pain of being bitten, of the horns being poked, of the pain of an cut by an axe. Everything will be felt through. If you have had such kind of attitude, abusive attitude towards animals in your lifetime, so this is something that everybody should be scared about. Like, this is a wrong thing to do. Animal killing is everywhere in all the shastras, in all the religions, prohibited. When it is required for religious purpose, is a different aspect. But having animal killing in slaughterhouses for sense gratification, that is absolutely prohibited. In Bhagavad Gita also, if we all remember, we have seen a picture where an animal is being, with the face of a man, is being cut by a person with the face of an animal. So this reciprocation of being harmed by another animal in your next birth is definitely going to take place, because then this is how justice is. If you have done something, you will have to reap. As you sow, so shall you reap, is what we have heard when we were young. This is so very true. Moving on to verse number 27. Here, Narad Muni is talking and he's explaining that because he had association with women for so long and constant association, he was completely contaminated. Here in this puppet, we learn that pains of the material existence is felt when there is too much attachment to a woman. Here, Bhakti Vinod Thakur has also given us a song, which I'll just read out the meaning, that because of my past fruitive activities, I have fallen so deep into the ocean of nescience, it means ocean of ignorance, that now I don't know how to come out of that ocean. I have no ways to coming out. And now I'm trying to be happy on my own. I'm trying to do sense gratification on my own. But every time I'm doing something, I'm getting some reactions which are not very great. So here Prabhupada explains it. It's like eating spicy food. When we eat spicy food, we feel very happy. Oh, it's so nice. It's so yummy, so yummy. And then after that spicy food goes down your body, goes down your throat into your tummy, everything starts burning. Now there is gas and there is indigestion. There is burning sensation day and night. So what happened? For 5 second sense gratification, now we are facing the pain which is going on day and night. Constantly it is going on. But still there is no satisfaction. We eat this, no satisfaction. We go on a trip, no satisfaction. So here, what people do, they start having wrong association when they don't have satisfaction. And in this wrong association, they get deep into intoxication and having illicit sex, which is at the end going to give them bad results. So after explaining all the pangs in the material life, Prabhupada is also giving the solution for this. And the solution is following a proper varnashram dharma. When a person follows proper brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha, then sannyas, then he will know how to get detached to things, and when to get attached and when to get detached. So when we follow varnashram system, the whole society can be a very beautiful place to live in. But right now, because no varnashram system exists, there is only grihastha life since the very day beginning, and till the end there is grihastha life only. This is why there is so much misery. Then when we move on to the next verse, verse number 28. Yeah. So here now King Puranjana is giving up his life and giving up his body. And when he's giving up his body, he is thinking constantly about his wife. Constantly he's thinking about his wife. So in next birth, he is now becoming a woman, a very a very beautiful woman. And where does he take birth? Now woman, and he takes birth in the house of King Vidarbha. Now the question is, King Puranjana was not a very kind personality. And he was constantly involved in having sex and constantly attached with his wife. So how is he getting birth in a king's family? So there, Prabhupada has answered this in the puppet very well. That first he was getting a woman's life because he was constantly thinking of a woman. And now he's getting the birth in a king's house. That is because of the pious activities that he has executed. And here Prabhupada is also saying that if a person falls from the path of bhakti yoga, God realization, due to attachment to the fruitive activities, what Puranjana was going through, and philosophical speculation or mystic yoga, he is given a chance to take birth in a family of high, gets chance to take birth in a rich and a very high family. That is a Suchi or a Srimad family. Here, a person who did a little bit of bhakti and got deviated from the path will be given a good opportunity again in next birth, so that that personality can continue with bhakti again. So this is why he got a birth in a very good king's family, the king called as Vidarbha. This is text number 28. And whenever we are given a new birth by Yamaraj, all our activities, pious or unpious, everything is taken into account and being measured, and accordingly only we get birth. So there will be no cheating done with us. We are going to get what we have sown. So next verse number 29. Now this daughter of Vidarbha is Vidarbhi. She was married to a very powerful man, Malay Dhwaja. Okay, so here in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining, here in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining that this Vidarbhi, this women, got married to Malay Dhwaj. And now what is Malay Dhwaj representing? So Malay Dhwaj is a very, very great devotee and who stands firm like Malay hills. He has the power to propagate bhakti. He has the confidence in bhakti. He has the ability to preach it to all the people. Malay Dhwaj is a very knowledgeable personality. So now we have to understand that Vidarbhi is coming in contact with very strong knowledge about bhakti. That is Malay Dhwaj. Here in the last line, this line, Pandaya Para Puranjana, here Prabhupada is explaining that a pure devotee can conquer kingdom of God by pure devotional service. Now we can raise a question. How can anybody conquer Krishna? Krishna is Ajita. Nobody can conquer him. That is true. Nobody can conquer him but devotees. Devotees can conquer Krishna through their devotional service. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also, in Adi Leela, we read this shloka. Tulasi dala matrena jalasya chulakena va vikrinite swayam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. That means Krishna will sell himself. Just if you offer tulasi and a little bit of jal, that is water, with pure bhakti, he will sell himself for you. So that is how bhakti attracts Krishna. So for Krishna is the only person who is fear personified. We all can get fearful, but not Krishna. But because he sees the devotional attitude of Mother Yashoda, he also gets scared of Mother Yashoda's stick. So he's not scared of anything. Still he's getting scared of a stick. That is because he sees the Vatsalya Bhav in Mother Yashoda. So bhakti is something that with which we can conquer Krishna. And moving on to the next verse, verse number 30. This is one of the important verses that I would recommend all the devotees, if have time, kindly read through it. Here, now, Vidarbhi married Malay Dhwaja, who's from knowledgeable bhakti. And she had a daughter with very black eyes. And she had 7 sons. So we understand that these 7 sons represent 7 processes of devotional service. We have always heard about 9 processes of devotional service, but now we will categorize it. So these 7 sons are 7 processes of devotional service, namely hearing, chanting, remembering, offering worship, offering prayers, rendering transcendental loving service, and serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality. So when a person follows these 7 processes of devotional service, that kind of bhakti is called as Vaidehi Bhakti. Here it is specified with the term Vidhi Marg. Vidhi Marg means following a proper rules and regulations method in worshipping the Lord. So when you hear, you have to hear from the proper source. You just cannot hear anything. So there is a little bit of rule over there. You should chant. You should chant your 16 rounds. You should chant in the morning. You should remember Krishna. For that, you have to hear about Krishna. Then you should offer worship in a certain way. You offer bhogas in certain way. So everything you see requires a training, rules. So this is Vaidehi Bhakti. Now, Prabhupada explains that the balance too, 7 plus 2, 9. So the balance to friendship, that is Sakhyam, and surrendering everything, that is Atma Nivedanam. For these two come when a person, after following these 7 steps, becomes an advanced devotee. And hence comes Raga Marg. Raga Marg is also known as Raganuga Bhakti. That is a very spontaneous bhakti. For that, nobody has to be told anything. Like for me, very, very neophyte, when I will go to the temple, I need to be trained how to offer bhogas, how to offer arati, how to offer your prayers, how you should serve the Lord. I need to learn. This is Vaidehi Bhakti. And when exalted personality comes in the temple, they need not be trained because they are doing everything spontaneously, because they have reached that stage. After practicing Vaidehi Bhakti, they have reached Raganuga Bhakti. We can also understand that a person who's in Raganuga Bhakti is an Uttam Adhikari. And a person who is following only the 7 rules so far is going to be Kanisht or Kanisht Adhikari. Okay, so Sakhyam and Atma Nivedanam is something that comes to, this attitude comes to very great preachers. They have the capacity to spread Krishna consciousness around. Neophyte people cannot be preachers. So because they have to follow the rules and regulation, and then after a certain period of time, they can still try to preach. In this verse, there is also a term mentioned over here is Dravida Desh. Dravida Desh is a part of the South India, and from where we have Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya also came from there. They also show like strong. They are also strong in rendering the preliminary services. So this is why Dravida Desh here was mentioned. Then we move on to the next verse, that is verse number 31. Now the sons of Malay Dhwaja gave birth to more sons. So now there were 7 sons and they gave birth to more sons, like thousands and thousands of sons. Okay, so here Prabhupada is explaining here from Bhagavad Gita 4.1 that I first passed this knowledge to the sun god, and then he passed it to Manu, and then Manu passed it to Ikshvaku, and that's how we see the second shloka, I think, evam parampara praptam evam rajarsayo vidu. So there is a lineage of passing on the knowledge that keeps going on. So here, what is the end goal? The end goal that needs to be attained is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need to go back home. So here Prabhupada is explaining that under Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur started practicing and preaching. And under him, I, as in Prabhupada, started preaching and practicing. And now we have disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj also, and our beloved Srila Prabhupada also. They don't work co-jointly, but still their ultimate goal is to achieve Krishna. That is same, which is right. That's how the whole world should be working around. Here it is said that there are primarily 4 parties that are spreading the devotional services all over the universe. And they are Ramanuja Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, where we are from, Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, and Nimbarka Sampradaya. So a person after having bhakti should spread it in its lineage, should send the message to the next generation also. Nowadays, we see little kids don't know much about small things like Sri Ramachandra or Sita. And when you ask them, they say, oh, we don't want to teach kids about myth or mythology. So this is a very wrong attitude. Unless we don't pass down our scriptural knowledge to next generation, how is that generation going to function? There will be no other way for it to survive. Okay, similarly, Prabhupada is also saying, when the goal is same about preaching Krishna, this process of preaching Krishna will never come to a halt. It will never stop, because this is a knowledge which is given and it's been going on since yugas and yugas. Then we go on to the next verse, verse number 32. This is also very important verse for understanding purposes. Here, now the great sage named Agastya married the firstborn daughter of Malayadhvaj. What were the description of Malayadhvaj's firstborn daughter? That she had a very black eye. So now we understand here that Agastya Muni over here refers to mind. Agastya means that senses do not act independently, and the word Muni is mind. So the mind is the center of all the senses. So the senses are not going haywire because a strong mind is controlling them very nicely. So now we'll understand the daughter, whose name is not specified, but with black eyes, means she's a very good devotee, because she's constantly seeing Krishna, hence her eyes are black. So with Vidarbhi and Malayadhvaj, that is Malayadhvaj is strong knowledge and devotion. Coming together, the culmination was Bhakti, that is the daughter. And then when that Bhakti married Agastya Muni, that is strong mind, then comes out a son, which is called as Dridhachuta, that is strong determination. And when a person has good knowledge, strong mind, strong determination, then there is one more son that comes out of them, that is Idmavaha. What does that mean? That means that strict bhakti is followed now in the society. So here, the first Vidarbhi, when Puranjana became Vidarbhi got married to Malayadhvaj. We are just doing an overview. Malayadhvaj is strong knowledge and devotion. Their culmination brought out Bhakti Lata. That is, Bhakti Lata is the daughter with black eyes. And then came married with strong mind, that is Agastya Muni, and then came out, their culmination brought together strong determination. And when you have all these things lined up, then your society will have strict followers of Bhakti. Talking a little bit about Bhakti Lata is, how does Bhakti Lata grow? How does Bhakti grow? So first there has to be Shraddha, faith in Krishna. And then after Shraddha, we will have Sadhu Sangha. We'll start looking for same kind of minded people. And then when sadhus come together, there is Bhajan Kriya. When there is Bhajan Kriya, there is Anartha Nivritti. All your Anarthas start getting diminished. When there is Anartha Nivritti, your Nishtha improves and your Ruchi improves in Krishna consciousness. And then there is Asakti towards Krishna. And then there is Bhav, you start feeling the ecstasy. And then there is Prem for Krishna, the highest level of devotion for Krishna. So this is how we understand verse number 32. Moving on to the last verse for today, verse number 33. Now after this, when everybody was situated, everybody was doing bhakti, the great saintly king Malayadhvaj, husband of Vidarbhi, divided his entire kingdom among the son. Now what he's done his part. He's done spreading the bhakti. He's done his responsibility. Now what he's doing? Now he's taking a step back. Now he's going back in a solitary place, and there he's going to practice his Niranjan Bhajan, constant bhajan. That is pointing towards the last two ashramas, which is required. Once you have done with your responsibility, now the next generation can step up. So saying that once a spiritual master has brought up good devotees and got their devotees ready for preaching purposes, he can sit back and do Niranjan Bhajan, and his disciples will carry out the movement of preaching Krishna consciousness throughout the world. So here, this was our last text for today. We will end over here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rasa Chandrik Mataji. Hare Krishna.